All right, welcome back. Brand new TLC Talk episode on the Sarah Fraser Show. We have a lot of new people checking out the pod. Welcome. I'm your host, Sarah Fraser, and I love TLC. We're here at a meeting, and I fully admit I'm addicted to TLC shows, and every single Wednesday on my podcast, I talk about all the fun gossip and hopefully the rumors that are just around the show. And I never set out to hurt any of these individuals, which I actually get backlash about that because people are like, you need to take a side and Kody and Robyn suck. Well, yeah, they have a lot of moments that they really suck on that show for sure. But I'm forever grateful, whether I'm talking about TLC shows or Bravo or any reality personality, that they are brave enough to continue to show up and put themselves on TV season after season as the internet has just become more and more brutal. And the truth of the matter is, they sign off for a production company to edit them any way they want. Yes, a few people that really make it to the top and become executive producers of their shows have a say. But for the most part, whether it's Vanderpump Rules or Sister Wives, they have very little say in the ultimate edit. So today we got a lot to cover. Speaking of being edited, production, a member of production from the Sister Wives TV show has now weighed in on Kody and Robyn and potentially what's going on with the sale of their Arizona home. That's happening. A recap of Welcome to Plathville, season 6, episode 8, which dropped last night. We're going to talk about that. And on top of that, we've got other good tea about Michael Ilesami. He apparently may want to pursue an acting career. We'll discuss. And then the last thing is Olivia Plath did a video this week that really kind of comes again for Kim and Barry Plath. And I have a whole theory about it. In fact, because I do think we are seeing on season 6 of Welcome to Plathville, the relitigation of all of these individuals' relationships, which have all crumbled. Kim and Barry's. And in fact, last night, Micah Plath says, I'm the only man in my family, in my friend group, like of any of them that are in a relationship. And ironically, Micah Plath, to me, seems like the one that's got it the most together, right? Am I right? We'll talk about all that. Let's get into Sister Wives first. Welcome to all my new listeners. I love that you're here. I drop podcast episodes 7 days a week based around pop culture, interesting guests, a little splash of my own life. And hopefully you enjoy it and stick around. So, Sister Wives, last week, enormous news with the now on the market, and it's been viewed on Zillow, I don't know, over 150,000 times by fans. The home of Kody and Robyn Brown in Flagstaff, Arizona, listed for $1.65 million, y'all. You all informed me when I went on and did a live last week, and I aired the episode on Friday, that is not shocking for Flagstaff, Arizona. Flagstaff and Arizona as a state has just become this hotspot where people want to go and move and live, and home prices have soared. I thought it was just Los Angeles. I mean, huh? But apparently in Flagstaff, people are very interested. So since that's come out, there's been all kinds of speculation. And the biggest speculation that we talked about on the show was a source that went to the news outlets last week and said that Kody and Robyn's marriage is volatile at best. And the sale of the home is indicative to what is going on between Kody and Robyn, which the long and the short, you can go back and listen to that episode. It is from Friday, August 30th. But the long and the short is that Kody has become so controlling. Robyn fears that he is like her ex-husband, David, who we know was physically and verbally abusive to her, also the father of 2 of her children. So people are saying a source very close, and I'm pretty sure I know who that source is, anyhow, is revealing that they do have marital issues. Since then, though, a lot of people have had other theories, including someone from production, TLC production, who's actually weighed in. Now, this person is anonymous and used to work on the show, it sounds like, doesn't work on the show anymore. But the biggest theory that kind of makes the most sense to me is that both Dayton and Aurora no longer live at home. And what we're hearing is Kody and Robyn want to move closer to them, and Dayton apparently lives in Utah. I am not sure where Aurora lives, but they want to be near her. Seems to make a lot of sense, and also that they want to capitalize on trying to make as much money as they possibly can from the sale of their home, which the markets to some degree are still red hot. So here's what somebody wrote on Sister Wives Uncensored, the Facebook group, okay? And it was an article that was posted. Anyone see this article and the comment on it? Sorry if I'm behind. Knew about the listing of the home, but talking about this comment that was posted on E! News's Instagram. The comment is, dude, those of us that worked on their production crew, meaning Sister Wives, also became their moving crew to Vegas because no funds. We even drove our own vehicles to Utah and back to Vegas. TLC was paying rent for them in the 4 separate homes in Summerlin, Vegas, and he's a broke loser who thinks he's something else. Just saying. Yikes. Yikes. So that was someone that apparently worked on production and does not have kind things to say. Ugh. There you have it. So that leads it to believe that it's financial issues, which is the other theory that keeps circulating. And many people believe that they can no longer afford to stay in the home. They love to spend money. And it's gotten to a point where they think if they can cash out, hey, do it. People are going to be watching this Zillow so closely of Kody and Robyn's home. It is on West Hash Knife Trail in Flagstaff, Arizona. And it is currently still on the market, and asking price is $1.65 million. Over 208,000 people have viewed this home in 4 days, and 6,200 have saved it. Probably not to buy it, but in fact to report on it when it sells. All right. We'll see how this all goes down. It's beautiful though. The porch that they never filmed on. No one can figure that out. And they still own Coyote Pass, and Coyote Pass is not for sale. And all the bills are paid on Coyote Pass. Mary was on here. She can't talk about it. Wouldn't be surprised if that sale is coming soon, but it ain't for sale just yet. It's not for sale quite yet. Let's talk about Angela, Deem, and Michael, another topic that everyone continues to weigh in on for 90 Day Fiancé. Michael has a lawyer. He's retained a lawyer. It is not Iffy's Kitchen, who's the famous YouTuber and fellow Nigerian, and she's also an attorney. So Scotty, Angela Deem's daughter, came to her defense this week, came out yelling and screaming at fans who are coming after Angela and donating to Michael. And basically, Scotty is saying that Michael is a scammer. Y'all are going to wait until you see. He didn't buy the Mercedes, but you just wait till you find out what he's really spending the money on, because he got a huge chunk of money from TLC recently, so he didn't need the GoFundMe. And Scotty, you might remember, has had her own legal issues. She did do time for child molestation. She full on had sex with a minor. So there you have it for that. But the other thing is Michael Ilesami, people are discovering, is an actor. And both he and Angela apparently have acting aspirations. So I kind of could see this happening, because I'm going to be honest, Lifetime is hiring every single former housewife under the sun. They've given Lisa Rinna shows. They've given Bethany Frankel shows. So you get ready. Denise Richards, you get ready, because I guarantee you Michael Ilesami will be on Lifetime in a similar spoof about this, about a guy who comes here to this country and is abused and finds love and moves on. I think everybody already knew this, but Michael is living in Texas. I guess everyone knew this. And the film that he was in was Brothers in Arms, which came out in 2023. And it's a Nigerian film. Did anyone see it? Was it good? So apparently Michael wants, does he want to be an actor? I don't know. Angela apparently has expressed interest, because I can tell you, I think for a while, until this legal case is resolved, we're not going to see him back on 90 Day for a very long time. I don't know that we'll ever see her back. So there you have it. Also, if you follow Doubling Down with the Doricos, two things going on. People are wondering what is going on with Dion and Karen. They're all over each other's Instagrams. I thought we were divorced. And by the way, they got divorced. They announced that they announced they were separating and getting divorced. And 2 days later, their divorce was finalized. So clearly it had been in the works for a while. They'd settled everything. They're already divorced. But the part that's getting a lot of discussion is Dion recently posted his mom, Gigi, who's a fan favorite. And, she's battled lung cancer for several years. She just had a birthday and turned 75. And she has decided she's been battling lung cancer since 2014. And she decided she's not going to continue any more treatment. So Dion, I thought, gave a rather positive update. He basically said she's doing well, but she does have long-term effects from the chemo. And they celebrated her birthday, and he said, he just prays all the time, and he's so grateful she's at this place where she's at. I thought that was pretty good. Other people did not think that that meant that things were going well. But then the whole message got lost because Karen is in the video with Gigi. And everyone's like, well, what in the world? And then people are like, well, they can co-parent, they can hang out. This is like a healthy relationship. Maybe it is. Or do they get divorced for other reasons? I don't know. But that's where the internet is going. Okay, that's what the internet has to say. Oh, shout out to Tony and Debbie. They're going strong. Now, Debbie is Colty's mama. Remember how she got with Tony from Canada? She was on Single Life, still with him. They posted an adorable photo together. They've been together now for like 2 or 3 years. Like Debbie, after all these years of devoting her life to Cole, we never thought he would leave the teat. She's living her best life with Tony. Like the two of them in love, making it work, hotter than ever. So shout out to them on this podcast, okay? Let's talk about the Plaths. Lots of scoop offline and online. Before we review Welcome to Plathville Season 6, Episode 8, Olivia Plath did a video this week calling bullshit on Kim and Barry Plath, essentially saying last week in Episode 7 of the show that they knew from the start that it was never going to work between Ethan and Olivia. And she also went on to explain to people why she is woke. So she says, this is like, you should be following her on TikTok. She gives some hot, like honest takes. And by the way, after I watched this video, I do think why Kim and Barry can't stand Olivia so much is I do think that Kim was very jealous of Olivia. I think that Olivia reminded Kim of a younger Kim of what could have been. And I truly believe that Olivia was the catalyst for Kim leaving Barry. I really do. Because she saw this beautiful young woman that couldn't really be controlled and had this spirit in her to do other things. And Kim Plath, because Ethan and Olivia, I just re-aired the interview, by the way. You should go listen Monday on this podcast. They really talked about how Kim wanted to be famous forever. Like, and the kids were in a band. Like, she wanted the fame. And I'm sure she, growing up in these uber religious families, felt like she had to marry Barry, and it was a huge mistake. And she probably took a lot of that jealousy and frustration out on Olivia because she knew Olivia was gorgeous and now had launched an incredible TV career and had her whole life ahead of her. Just saying, where Kim has 11 kids. So here's a little snippet of Olivia's TikTok. Totally, you should follow her.
Decisions for them, and they were just supposed to coast on autopilot and not really have any thoughts. And like, I will take being awake every single damn day. Good luck trying to put me to sleep again.
Oh,
because when you're awake and you actually realize what's going on, like, you realize how so many people don't have your best interests at heart, especially men. And as a woman, I'm not ever going to go back to that. You can call me feminist. You can call me woke. Like, you're goddamn right I'm woke. I would rather be awake than asleep. So, anyways, yeah, I don't know how to end this rant. I just was thinking about that this morning, and I think it's like freaking wild. And anyways, bye.
Okay, so this is really good to watch. I think it explains a lot of how they are really sharing, everybody in that family. And I give them a lot of credit. Everybody in that family, except for Barry. Barry's holding back so much because, he hates Kim. So they're all letting it air out, like how they truly feel about each other. And Olivia's like not holding back. She's really growing out loud. Like, I gotta say, I know she's polarizing, but that to me, everybody now on TV is polarizing. Everybody. I'm trying to think of who's well liked. Like Lisa Vanderpump is polarizing to people. And she's like beloved, I feel like, on Bravo. So I love this Olivia Plath. I feel like it's going to get even juicier. We're going to have a lot more coming out of the woodwork, I feel like, from this show. But the other thing that's happening is Ethan Plath. Now, I remain blocked, so I get this info from you guys. But Ethan Plath apparently is taking a motorcycle trip from my home state of Maine to California. And why is he going to California? A lot of people are like, you stopping to visit Olivia? You better not. He's going from Minnesota to Maine on that motorcycle that he restored to California. Okay. These kids love to travel the country. They all do. They really love to but I feel like they need to go to Europe, go to other countries and see how people live. That's like the biggest thing for everybody, for all of us. Traveling is a luxury. It is. But if you do one thing, save your money, go to Europe, go to Africa, go to places, see how other people live. See how other societies function. See how how they feel about America, how they feel about their own country, how they feel about other races. Believe me, you'll learn a lot. But these kids love to crisscross the country. They've been to every state. So he's taking a bike trip. Good for him. And that gets us into last night's episode, which, again, I do think I got to give Ethan, Olivia credit. We are getting a lot from them as to how they truly, really feel about each other, and they're growing up. So we open last night's episode with more of Victoria and Micah, who seem very happy. Now, they do have this bit of a relationship dynamic that a lot of people do not think is healthy, which is they're very kind of sarcastic with each other. She sort of puts him down a little bit, and he's kind of always chasing her. Now, I don't know, again, we're seeing such a small snippet of their relationship. I don't know. They clearly have to have a pretty loving relationship, I would think, so far, because they've moved in together. She now trusts him enough to reveal herself on television. So there's got to be some real, and they do seem like they're really in love. Now, producers say to them, are you guys in love? They kind of skirt around that, but she's really waiting for him to say, I'm in love with you first, which he says how does he say it? We're not in love. We are what? Making love? No. Anyway, I don't know. Something about we have in love features. Like, what? And she sort of takes that, she's like, okay. But, we're going to see how their whole relationship unfolds because she's going to start hanging out with the Plath family more and more. But I think it's hard for people to get a read on them. People feel like that she, is kind of putting him down and what's really going on here. But I think it's too early to tell. And this is really the only second episode that we've actually seen a lot of her. So we'll see how that goes. That's kind of how the episode kicks off. Then we get into hearing more from Ethan Plath about, he'd never really talked to his younger sisters about what went wrong with Olivia. And it's very interesting to me. We take a real good 5 minutes on this show, which on this show, Lord, it has been so slow at times. Whew. But on this episode, we take a good 5 minutes for Ethan Plath to have a moment and explain that he doesn't believe women should just totally be barefoot in the kitchen, with that comment last season about how a way to the man's heart is through his stomach and Olivia doesn't cook anymore. And by the way, Olivia, when was the last time you made me a meal? Now, he clarifies and he says the whole world took that out of context, that I only wanted her to cook. My love language, he basically says, is I love when she makes a home in his mind. Okay. That she cooks, that she has a meal on the table for him, that the table's set. But he by no means expects a woman to be like that all the time. Do we believe this? And he's sitting around by a fire. And then at the end of it, he goes, all I want is a plot of land and a quarter horse. And what else did he want? I don't know. A motorcycle, something to tinker with. I don't know. But it sure sounded traditional to me. Now, this has been their thing for a long time. Apparently, even before it was all leaked that they were getting divorced, they've come to have different political beliefs, different beliefs of what a home should be. And Ethan, they both really resent each other. I get from this season. Ethan basically says, I've come back to Cairo and I see it now for all the joy that I had when I was little. And Olivia projected her traumatic childhood and her own issues onto me here and my family and took a place that I loved and was sacred to me and made it filled with bad memories for the past couple of years. I mean, in so many words, the dude says that. So we're clearing a lot of air. And I like Ethan Plath. I mean, those two people could not be more polar opposite. And they now really, at least she does, really resents being pushed into marriage by his parents and her own parents. By the way, on that TikTok video, that's what she really talks about too, is that Kim and Barry, for them to sit there and go, oh, we never were going to, they were never going to make it, when all they did was push her into marrying Ethan, and how the two of them needed to be married. And she gives an example of how Kim would come to her and say, I had a dream last night that you and Ethan were in a plane crash and died. And it was sad to lose my son, but I was devastated to lose you. Okay. And then, Olivia says they put the pressure on her when she was 19 to get married. I believe that. I believe it. I just believe it. I believe everything Olivia says. To me, I find her to be a very credible source. And is she angry? Yeah, I think she's pretty angry, but you got to work through that. And she's just doing it, in front of millions of people. That's the difference. So then we kind of switch gears and we go to Olivia's side of the story, which is also quite angry. And Olivia talks about more of her upbringing and also the resentment she sort of has still towards Ethan. And Ethan's traditional ways, and Ethan, not thinking that she's beautiful. And she also reflects on how she's never really she's basically saying in so many words, she's never had hot sex. That when they got, she was told always, you cannot have sex until you get married. Oh, yeah. Isn't it wild? I feel bad for anybody raised in these fundy homes. I mean, it is so hard when your family still believes that. Like, can you believe that in 2024? Now, look, do I believe people should be having sex when they're 14? No. Even 15 seems young to me, but by 17 or 18, well, have at it. You know what I'm saying? And like 18 is a good age, I think. And what? I mean, you got to try a couple people first before you can settle down. I mean, those poor kids. So even she says, even once they got married and it was like, okay, let's have sex, like they only could do it, very traditional way, like missionary style for Ethan. So she decides she's going to have like a sex event with her friends here in LA. And this woman brings a stuffed animal vagina and wants everybody to point out what's the clit do, what's the vulva do. I don't know either. Okay. I mean, it's an ecosystem down there that constantly replenishes itself. And you're not supposed to put stuff up there aside from a tampon, which now that's even debatable because they bleach them with chemicals. Okay. But we get it was like being back in 8th grade last night on that episode. Can anyone answer me? Hands up if you know how often the clit needs to be stimulated for someone to feel relaxed. I mean, okay, we got the whole thing. But we did find out the big reveal for Olivia was, and I mean, she's still angry. She is angry about a lot of things because she goes to a farm on last night's episode with her sister, who we love, Lydia Grace. Shout out to Lydia and Olivia. Lydia's also been on this podcast. She goes to a farm and they milk cows. All right. And Olivia goes, look, I actually love farming. I want to find a way to integrate it into my, life now, my LA life, my TV life. But I never could share with Ethan that I wanted to do that because I knew he'd be like, that would be the green light for us, like for him to want to buy a house, barefoot, pregnant, 18 kids later, and we just live in that traditional home. And I'm with her. She knew in her soul that wasn't her, and I respect that. So anyhow, last night we after the sex party, after we saw the milking cows, and God bless her, I think Lydia Grace was with me. I don't think she has any interest in going back on a farm. Like, no thanks. Maybe it's because I grew up in Maine with so many people who are farmers. It's just like, it's such hard work. Yes, I appreciate good milk, but whew, a lot of work. And who wants to shovel shit from an animal? No thanks. No thanks. But anyhow, we learned that Olivia's boyfriend that she's been dating, his name is Brandon. And he's from the East Coast. We kind of knew that anyway. They've been traveling to see each other. But Lydia Grace, and I gotta kind of side with Lydia, is like, girl, stop trying to get booed up, Olivia. Like, you just got out of a marriage. You like this guy. He's open. He's allowing you to like explore yourself. You guys are having hot sex, probably with some great sex toys, because she's also a sex toy ambassador. Good for her. And you got to get out there. We're gonna do a speed dating event in episode 9, and we're gonna get you out there, and you got to try some other guys. Okay. I mean, I liked it. I liked it. But Olivia, you can tell, is still very, very angry at everything that Ethan Plath, I don't know if put her through is the right thing, but I think it just was such a wrong situation, right? And they probably even held it together more for TV. But I truly believe, and I actually got to write this on Olivia's TikTok. I believe Olivia really was the best thing that happened to that family, because I do believe she was the catalyst for when she talks about her idea of, people call her woke. I think she woke that family up. She woke that family up to realizing Kim and Barry weren't happy. What they were doing with those kids, the kids were not happy with not really learning and being educated. Mm-mm. Nope. Nope. And then lastly, my last thought around the whole Plath family, because it's getting so good, was they teased to episode 9 that Mariah has the entire family to a house in Florida so she can record a new music video for her album. And it's about one of her exes, which I believe is Max. And Barry gets so mad. Mariah leaves the room because she's so emotionally upset because of what Max did to her. Now, we know Max cheated because he also came on my podcast. And it all comes back to the Sarah Fraser show. And so, but God, this was years ago. So I'm just wondering if this is going to be about a new boyfriend or still Max. Like, that really crushed her. Max must have been the love, love, love of her life. Like, I hope she gets over it, because I do have a girlfriend who met the love of her life while we were in college. And she's to this day never gotten over it. I mean, so sometimes that stays with you. I hope she can get over it and move on, because I think we have a major meltdown again about Max. This isn't good for Mariah either, because fans, now Mariah Plath is the least liked Plath on the show, because people are tired of her crying about relationships. I mean, isn't that what Taylor Swift did and became Taylor Swift? She's written a song about every ex. I don't think that's a bad thing. All right. So we've had a full slate of shows on TSFS this week. Monday, I reran an episode from 2020, the height of the pandemic, with Ethan and Olivia Plath. Let's go back. What was the way they were? What was their marriage like? Well, you can listen to Monday's show. Yesterday, did some in the news, including a mom who went to Disneyland without her kids. Great for your mental health or embarrassing. And you should always bring your kids to Disney. People are actually debating this. Tomorrow, David Yontif from Behind the Velvet Rope joins the show for a Bravo roundup of all the latest news. Same with Friday. Saturday, Rachel Yucatel joins the pod. And then Sunday, we'll have some new news, I'm sure, coming out of Sister Wives. What's the latest gossip there? Because we are getting countdown time to Sister Wives season 19 starting. Okay. Love you guys. If you want more, you can follow me at The Sarah Fraser Show on TikTok and on Reddit, reddit.com/r/The Sarah Fraser Show. All right. Bye, everybody.